Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.
Hello, I'm Lori Steiner. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, could a past problem be weighing you down? We'll focus on fighting fat after a life-altering issue. Then, we'll celebrate the survival of women battling and beating breast cancer. We'll state the facts you need to know about your financial statements. Plus, read all about it. We'll look behind the latest health headlines. And changes to Medicaid are on their way. Should they be welcomed or should you be worried?
It's time to get GOing, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. Maybe you've never had a weight problem, but now you do. What's changed? To figure that out, finish this sentence. Ever since whatever, I can't lose weight. So what did you say? A death? A divorce? A big move? Menopause? These kinds of events can actually weigh you down. Dr. Noel Abood is here to explain why and to suggest a solution. Dr. Abood is with the Solon Spine and Wellness Center. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
So why does some kind of a trauma like that pack on the pounds?
It's so maddening. Like you said, people are cruising along, doing fine, and then all of a sudden the birth of a child or divorce or an illness or menopause, and then they can't lose that weight, and it's so frustrating. And what we found is that the biochemistry goes askew, and when the biochemistry's off, the body responds exactly the same way as if it was perceiving a famine. It slows down our metabolism and it holds on to fat. So when we feel like, oh my gosh, I'm gaining weight, we increase our exercise, or we cut down our calories, and the body says, no, 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 there's an illness, we better hold on to this fat. And it's all because the biochemistry's off.
Okay.
So if we can balance that, the fat just starts rolling off.
Yeah, we can't help these things happening, they just do. So how do we get our body to recognize that and make the change that's necessary?
And that's where the technology really comes into play. It's the new technology called NRF technology, where you put your hand on a hand cradle, and it looks like a barcoder, but we have it on for 20 minutes, and it's measuring biomarkers, things in your body that are interfering with your ability to burn fat. For me, when I did it, I lost 20 pounds. It was because of heavy metal poisoning, and I don't even know when I was exposed to it. But as soon as we addressed that issue, the fat came off. It was amazing.
That is amazing.
It might be hormones, it might be neurotransmitters like serotonin, it might be candida. Whatever it is, this testing gives us like a fingerprint of you, a biochemical fingerprint of you.
What's going on inside that we can't see.
Right.
All right, so we figure out that there's something going wrong in the biochemistry. That's why there's an issue. Now, how do we deal with how do we use this information?
But the big issue, I think, is still finding why, because once we find what's off, we can make a very, very specific recipe to address those imbalances. And once we address them, the body says, everything's good, the crisis is over, there's no famine, let's let go of the fat. And so we're able to put that recipe in dropper form, in liquid, and we'll prescribe it, we do the formulating, you just put it in 24 ounces of water and drink it throughout the day, and it balances the biochemistry.
How about the food that you're eating?
You're on a food plan as well, absolutely, but the thing that we pride ourselves on this diet is you're not hungry and you don't have food cravings when you're on this program.
Great. So you just go home and you do it and you're done?
It is. Now every day, it's very interactive. They're texting me and they're telling me how much they lost since the day before, total pounds lost, because I can see patterns developing maybe before they can, and I can help them stop a stall. Then every week to 10 days they come in and we measure whether they're losing fat, which is what we want, or are they losing muscle, which we don't want, or water. So it's very interactive between the doctor and the patient.
Keep on top of it, huh?
Absolutely.
All right. So you may have been saying, ever since something happened, I can't lose weight. But soon you may find yourself saying, ever since I tried Dr. Abood's plan, I can lose weight. To find out more, give Dr. Abood a call. His number's next.
Find out more by calling Solon Spine and Wellness Center at 440-669-0050 or log on to www.slendersolon.com. Next, saluting survivors. But first, let's state the obvious. There are 5 states in the sunny South that share a border with the Gulf of Mexico. Can you name all 5? We'll coast through this commercial and then map out the answer when we return.
Hilltop Village Apartments is retirement living at its best. Residents enjoy a wide variety of activities and living services with all large first-floor apartments, private screened-in patios with beautiful park views, daily dining room meals, free laundry facilities, 24-hour staff, and so much more. Enjoy safe, comfortable independence at a very affordable price. Call today for a tour and learn how you can get your first month's rent free. Hilltop Village Apartments, retirement living at its best.
Down south, you'll find nearly half a dozen Gulf states bordering the Gulf of Mexico. The 5 U.S. states that have a starring role in wading into the water are Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida. And all will say, the beach at the border is beautiful.
There's a sisterhood among survivors of breast cancer. To celebrate that bond, as well as to bring awareness to the fight against this disease, each year Medical Mutual of Ohio presents a breast cancer survivor awareness brunch. Here to tell us about it is Deborah Green, the Director of Community Relations for Medical Mutual, as well as a breast cancer survivor herself. So welcome.
Thank you, Lori.
Oh, you and Medical Mutual are involved in so many great community service programs like Outstanding Senior Awards, Habitat for Humanity, scholarships. This one, though, must be really personal for you.
It is, and as you mentioned, I am a survivor. This year is a milestone for me. I've celebrated 20 years as a survivor.
Boy.
And it's just so important to talk about that because as we plan these events in the community, we're hoping to inspire women who are survivors and men, but also to give hope and inspiration to realize that breast cancer doesn't have to be a death sentence.
Yeah, and that's necessary to keep that
Right,
hope going.
right.
So, and it's not just survivors who come, there's
Right.
others, right?
Right, survivors, caregivers, husbands, daughters, family members. It's a day of celebrating them. We provide lunch, there's prizes, there's hat contests. It's just a day that they can come and forget about what they may be going through. We do 3 events, one in Cleveland, one in Columbus, and one in Toledo. And it's been 20 years that Medical Mutual has been acknowledging and celebrating survivorship.
That's great. And there's also an award for someone or a group in the community that's really working towards this knowledge, information, hope, and everything. The name of the award sounds kind of familiar.
Yes,
The
yes.
Deborah A. Green Community Service Award. So they named it in honor of you.
It's amazing. I started this at work when I was diagnosed with cancer, and it started small internally, where a few of us would get together in our cafeteria. It grew over the years. I left the company briefly in 2011, and at that time, they surprised me by naming the award after me because of all that I've done. I did return to Medical Mutual. They still have the award, and we give it to individuals and organizations that do outstanding work in the community to raise awareness. The Gathering Place is one. This year, we're awarding it to shows. Survivors Helping Other Women Survive. A group of 9 survivors that put together a play to inspire hope in women.
So they go around the city.
Right. So for the last year, Medical Mutual underwrote the cost of them going to community centers, to libraries, to churches, performing these plays, telling about their journey with breast cancer. And I just feel very fortunate to work somewhere that believes in this cause. I've worked there for a number of years. Medical Mutual is the oldest and the largest insurer in the state, and they just do a lot for this community.
That's great.
Thank you.
You were mentioning already that there's food and presentations and all
Right.
this, and you said about hats, there's something called the Hattery.
Right.
What is
right,
the
right,
Hattery?
right. Well, it's, you know, the women's hair is their crowning glory. And for many women going through treatment, they lose their hair. But throw on a hat, come out, celebrate. It is free, there's no cost. They just come and celebrate and enjoy the day.
And it's happening in
October 3rd,
October, but
right.
it's full this year. So
Yeah, it's close to being full, but if people will still want to call us and go to our website, we'd be happy to put them on a wait list. But every year, it just 300 people or more that show up for it.
fantastic.
Thank you.
Getting the word out and having such a nice celebration is so great.
It is wonderful. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. The battle to defeat breast cancer continues, and Medical Mutual is on the front lines to support those with the disease and to promote those who have also joined the fight. My thanks to Deborah Green for her personal and professional efforts to win this war.
Thank you, Laura.
Find out more about Medical Mutual of Ohio by visiting their website, www.medmutual.com/2015options, or call 1-866-488-3266. Next, figuring out your financial statement. Looking for places to go, things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. There's a healthy dose of information and activities at the 2015 Senior Wellness Expo at the Solon Community Center and Solon Senior Center, Wednesday, September 30th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. There will be free health screenings, information booths, and great giveaways. Plus, you can choose to sample several soups and chili. For more information, just give a quick call, 440-735-3711.
You have many different assets on your investment team. So how are your players performing? Are they hitting a home run or striking out? Should you keep them on the roster or trade them for some other heavy hitters? Here's an easy way to keep score of the stats. Just focus on your financial statements. Jim Lineweaver is here to coach us on how to read these reports. Jim is a certified financial planner professional with the Lineweaver Financial Group. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
So our playbook is these financial statements, but I tell you what, they look like they're written in some kind of a code.
They can be, yes, and especially coming from an attorney, that means a lot. So,
yeah, they're hard to read, and everybody's are different.
They are, that's the problem. You know, they have to contain some basic information, but everybody can put that in whatever format they want, and that's where the confusion comes in.
Okay, so you're going to help us translate a few of the terms for us, correct?
We are, yes. The first thing you're probably going to see is the account information. So this is the titling. How is it registered? Is it in your name? Is it joint tenants with a spouse or loved one? Is it transfer on death? So how is that registration set up? Some even go to as far as setting up a beneficiary and let you know what that is, so it can avoid probate and stuff in the future. But then there's also an account summary, and what that's going to do is just going to give you the equity exposure, maybe mutual funds and fixed income and things, and how they did over the last either month or quarter, whatever period that statement is for.
Okay. Then I've seen something called portfolio detail.
Yeah.
What does that have covered in
What
it?
this is going to really do is lay out every stock or bond or mutual fund that you may have in there. And they can list information like if it's a bond, the credit rating. If it's a mutual fund, is it equity or balanced? They can also list what you paid for it, maybe what it's currently worth, what is the unrealized gain and loss, and sometimes over in the right-hand column, they might even give you the dividend or interest that it's paying on an annualized basis. So sometimes that can be pretty detailed.
Okay. And there's sections about income summary and daily activity. So what do those tell us?
Yes. Okay. Well, the income summary is going to say, based on any dividends that are coming out of a stock or any type of a bond, what's going to happen is that'll tell you what the activity is for that period for the year. But don't get confused. If it says it's 2 or 3%, that may not be the total return that you're going to get, but that might be the dividend or interest that's being kicked off that underlying instrument.
Okay.
And then you get to the daily activity, and it's going to say, well, if those instruments are paying something, where is it going? Is it going to be reinvested? Is it going to actually be paid to cash? Have you deposited any money in there? Are you withdrawing any money on a monthly basis? That's all going to be in that daily activity.
Okay. You know, it seems like this is all at some point understandable, but I think I would need another lesson or two maybe to figure it out. But you have a way to help out our viewers, right?
We do. We have an education program coming up because whether you're dealing with insurance or securities and all these different statements, it can be confusing. So our first one's going to be on Tuesday, September 22nd at 6 p.m. And we also have one Thursday, September 24th at 1 p.m. It's free to the viewers, but I'd ask them to call quick because it usually gets filled up pretty rapidly.
So I gotta make reservations.
That'd be a good idea.
All right. Understanding your financial statements could be a game changer in your investment strategy. To learn more, attend one of Jim's seminars or give him a call. The number's next.
For more information, call the Lineweaver Financial Group at 1-888-313-4009 or click to www.lineweaver.net. Next, well worthy of your attention. It's time to get up and go, an exercise minute on golden opportunities.
Hello everybody, it's Mike Carbon from Breakout Fitness, and we are here today to show you not only how to work your important shoulder muscles, but also the triceps in the back of the arm. Every woman wants to work that area. You ready to do it?
I was born ready.
All right, let's do it. We got our bands here. We're gonna start with the bands under our backside, because we wanna be seated on the band just to make sure they stay in place. What we're gonna do from here is we're gonna start with our hands at about a 45-degree angle and our palms just above our shoulders. We're simply gonna press that band up above the head, just about touch, and bring them back down to the starting position, okay? We're looking for 12 to 15 repetitions, slow and controlled movement, and also please do not rock back and forth and maintain that good posture. How you feeling, Lori?
Oh, taller already.
Taller already, all right,
taller,
yeah. That's good, you got some strong shoulders there, everybody. Okay, 12 to 15, make sure you're breathing, and now it's your turn to get up and go.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 6105 Parkland Boulevard, Suite 140, Mayfield Heights, Ohio, 44124.
Want a moving experience? Stand up and start walking. Deborah Rizzo is here to tell us why movement is mandatory for your health. Deborah is a physical therapist at Metro Health, so welcome here to the show.
Thank you.
All right, we know, we've heard all the doctors, we need to exercise, right?
Right. And a lot of people are kind of afraid to start exercising, but really it's just as simple as moving more. The latest research is showing that sitting too much can be a risk factor for even, heart disease. Of course, we know that, that being sedentary, but it's been linked to diabetes, dementia, and even premature death.
Oh dear.
So even just sitting for 4 or 5 hours at a time can be a problem. I mean, a lot of people do that. So the best thing to do is to try to put some breaks in between when you're sitting.
Yeah, I mean, but we spend so much time sitting. That's part of the problem. At work or at the computer, or in the car, watching TV, it's all sitting.
That's right, that's right. So if we can maybe even set an alarm, if you know that you're going to be sitting for a long period of time, like at the computer, set an alarm for an hour in the computer or in your phone. That can help also. Getting up for a couple minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, walking around the house or around your office, up and down the stairs, can really make a big difference. If you're on the phone, you can just kind of walk around instead of sitting in the recliner.
I do that anyway. I always pace on the phone.
Yeah, just kind of walk around. If you're watching TV, during those commercials, march in place or do some stretching. It makes you feel better. It just makes you feel better.
Sounds easy to mix in. So what else could help us get moving?
A lot of people like those Fitbits or a Fitbit type device that you wear on your wrist, and it monitors your heart rate and also your steps. They're a little pricey, so anybody pretty much can go out and get a pedometer for under $10, and it can do the same thing. And that way it's a way of keeping track of if you really are moving more or not, or you just think you might be moving more.
What's the goal for steps?
The goal is 10,000, which sounds a little overwhelming, but you're really trying to make yourself better every day. So if you're tracking it,
you can add a few more steps every day.
You're not really...
It's like you're not running a marathon tomorrow.
Exactly. You're not competing with anyone, but trying to make yourself better.
Yeah. Do we need formal help with that, like a physical trainer or anything?
That would be really great. You can also always get a personal trainer or go to your physical therapist for some advice, especially if you're having problems with aching joints and things. You should always start with checking with your doctor, of course, before you begin any exercise program. But once you get the go-ahead by your doctor or your physical therapist, going to your community gym is a great place because you can find classes that are designed just for seniors. They'll have some pool therapy, hopefully, and that's very gentle on the joints and really highly recommended for fitness.
All of those programs that they're going to be able to be offered at a community fitness center is great. Right. Are there any special exercises besides just moving more that are geared for seniors?
There are specific exercise programs. There's things also that you want to think about as you're getting older is working on your balance. We all know that as we get older, our balance isn't like it was before. And we generally think of balance as only being, oh, let's strengthen our legs. But working on your arms in standing is also very good for your balance, because our body works together, all the muscles work together. And what affects one spot can affect another, etc. So your balance is a combination of all your muscles working well together, your arms as well as your trunk and your legs.
So everything.
Yes, everything. And you know, that'll avoid your neck pain and your shoulder pain if
It's all worth it.
we would address everything.
That's great.
Yeah.
So it's time to get a move on. Check with your doctor and then follow Deborah's advice to step up your steps, strength, and stamina. My thanks to Deborah Rizzo for her giving us motivation to keep moving.
To learn more, call Metro Health at 216-778-7800 or log on to www.metrohealth.org. Next, Medicaid Matters.
Here at Metro Health, you know you matter when it matters most. Here, we are the city's best at preparing for the world's worst. Here, we are the only verified burn center in Ohio for adults and children. Here, you'll find exceptional clinicians with extraordinary hearts. So the work we do here at Metro Health makes an impact here, out here, and right here. Metro Health, we're here for you, for all of you.
Did you miss a phone number or website? Then here's your second chance, because we're going to list all of that information again. Then we'll be back to mull over the changes coming in Medicaid. As we have discussed on the show many times, the Medicaid rules are complicated and ever-changing. There's a new Ohio Supreme Court case you must know about to protect your home, and a new interpretation of powers of attorney that is incomprehensible. Here to discuss these horrific changes is my terrific law partner, Mike Solomon.
Hi, Lori.
Hi, Mike. So first, let's talk about this new case that can claim the house, the personal residence of a married couple. It sounds terrible.
Well, it is a bad decision for people. Let's go back a step. A house, a married couple, their home is a protected asset for Medicaid claims. So if one spouse goes into a long-term care facility, the other spouse can keep their house. They don't have to get rid of their house. We've told people this on the program before. The law has been interpreted by many of the counties that if you have your house titled in a trust and one of the spouses goes in a long-term care facility, you lose the home, or if the house is a countable asset. The Supreme Court has been considering this, and also the Ohio legislature just recently had passed a bill that said if the house is in a living trust, the standard estate planning trust, it's okay. It doesn't cause a problem. The governor vetoed it because it was before the Supreme Court. So that's the status, and now the Supreme Court has come out with a decision on this.
So what did they actually say then?
Well, there was a case, it's called Atkinson is the name of the case. A married couple back in 2000 put their home in a trust, and then in 2011, the wife had to go in a long-term care facility. They took the house out of the trust, and the wife took it and then gave it to her husband, and the Medicaid declared that was a gift, and it put the husband above the limits so he could no longer qualify for Medicaid. The Ohio Supreme Court in a 4-3 decision said that's the correct answer. So now, under Ohio law, if you have a house in a trust, you lose your Medicaid protection.
Oh boy, so that does sound horrible. What are people supposed to do?
Well, the important thing, and we've told people this all a long time, get the house out of the trust. Many people put a house in a trust to avoid probate and part of their estate plan. There are other ways to achieve that same goal of avoiding probate with your house and still following your ultimate estate planning goal. So take the house out of the trust now, because you never know. If one spouse goes in a long-term care facility, before you've had a chance to react, the house is in the trust and the house loses its protection.
Okay, that sounds awful.
Yes.
Sounds like there's things you can do, though, so that's a good thing.
That's right. You need to do some planning always with this sort of stuff.
And another change that just happened in the rules of how Medicaid's interpreting things. So what was that?
Well, you know, a basic estate planning document, we tell people, everyone should have this, almost everybody, is a financial power of attorney. You're giving someone the right to sign legal documents on your behalf in case you become incompetent, so they can handle your bank accounts, your IRAs, sign tax returns, do all sorts of things for you. And Medicaid now is basically saying they're not going to recognize that power of attorney for purposes of applying for Medicaid.
That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
So power of attorney is accepted everywhere, but not Medicaid.
Right. So you can use a power of attorney with banks or anybody else, but if you have to apply for Medicaid, you fill out the application. If you're competent, you can sign it yourself, and then that's fine. But if you're incompetent, then in the past, we've always assumed you could take the power of attorney, the power holder then could go themselves, fill out the application, or hire someone to help them. You know, again, a power of attorney doesn't mean you have to be an attorney. So maybe your child is the power holder. They hire a law firm to help them fill out the Medicaid application. That won't work anymore. You can't do that. You need to have the individual have signed an authorization for somebody to file this application. Well, if they're incompetent, they can't. So then you either have to go to probate court, a guardian appointed, the guardian can fill out the application, or then hire somebody. But it's a lot more cumbersome than it used to be.
It's awful. So these changes are unfair to everyday middle-class folks who are simply trying to obtain a little help with long-term care costs in a nursing home. The government doesn't seem to help. Plus, there are more law changes coming next year that will complicate things even more. For information, come to our public seminars on September 28th, 29th, and 30th to get more information about what's going on, or call the number that's coming up next. We'll be back.
Call Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information, or to schedule a speaker for your organization. Or log on to www.ssmplaw.com.
Thanks for joining us. On next week's show, we'll have more information about your health, your teeth, your well-being, and what's going on in the community. But until then, please remember to make the most of your golden opportunities.
If you'd like to join our kitchen conversation, visit our website, www.goldenopportunities.tv. Like us on Facebook. Call us at 440-742-GO-TV or email us at kitchen@goldenopportunities.tv. We'd love to hear from you.
Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.